Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're cracking open a really unique stack of sources. It's a series of candid conversations, actually.
That's right.
And we want to get to the heart of, what truly matters in our daily lives.
Exactly. Our mission, really, for this deep dive is to pull out the practical insights from these, well, informal chats. Imagine you're sort of listening in on some really good discussions that offer a kind of shortcut.
A shortcut.
Yeah, a shortcut to being well-informed on things like, well, big lifestyle decisions.
Yeah.
Right down to refining everyday skills.
And what's really compelling about this material, I think, is its organic format. These aren't textbooks.
Oh, not at all.
They're genuine conversations, and they naturally reveal all these different perspectives and surprisingly actionable advice.
It's like finding wisdom just hidden in plain sight, really.
Exactly. So let's dive in. Explore the profound in the everyday.
Sounds good.
So we're kicking things off by looking at a classic dilemma that comes up in these sources. The fundamental differences between living in a village versus living in a city.
Mm-hmm.
It's a choice, a lot of us grapple with.
Yep.
Impacts our pace of life, our connections, even our outlook.
Yeah, it really does. And when you look at village life in these conversations, the sources really highlight this profound sense of peace.
Peace, okay.
It's not just that it's quiet, though. It's more about a slower pace, something that can foster maybe mental clarity, deeper thinking, things that are often hard to find in the city rush.
Right, the urban haste.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a really strong emphasis on community resilience. People are consistently described as, friendly and helpful.
Mm-hmm.
There's this sort of dense web of mutual support where neighbors just naturally step in when someone needs help.
That sounds nice.
It really paints a picture of that quiet and simple life, rooted in genuine connection.
But there must be downsides.
Well, yes. The main drawback mentioned is facilities being not as advanced. So things like specialized healthcare or maybe niche educational programs, entertainment.
Yeah,
You might have to travel for those specific things.
that makes sense. It's interesting how stark the contrast is then. If we flip the coin to city life,
Yeah.
the sources seem to underscore this incredible abundance of opportunities. Education, jobs, entertainment, it's all there.
Right. But it's not just the quantity, is it? The sources stress the diversity and exposure to different cultures.
Ah, yes.
And that's not just about seeing new things. It's about broadening your whole perspective. It can foster this remarkable intellectual fluidity.
Okay, so it suits that fast-paced and dynamic life.
Definitely. But that dynamism, it comes with its own challenges.
Like what?
Well, cities are just inherently more crowded, right?
Yeah.
And more susceptible to pollution.
True.
And while people in cities are often more independent, more reliant on themselves.
Which can be good.
It can be. But sometimes that self-reliance can sort of edge into a subtle feeling of isolation. Bit lonely, maybe?
So different sides to each coin.
Exactly. What these conversations really show is that the bay of choice, well, it depends on the individual's priorities and lifestyle. Both village and city life, they have their own merits and demerits. They create these distinct sort of psychological landscapes.
So no single right answer.
No, it really boils down to personal preferences and priorities. The sources even suggest that it's good to experience both ways of life and appreciate the differences.
Or find a balance.
Yeah, or if possible, seek a balance. Blend aspects of each. That seems to be the ideal if you can manage it.
Okay, so that covers the big picture of where we live. But the sources then seem to narrow the focus, right, to more intimate decisions.
That's right, like welcoming a companion animal, a pet, into your home.
Pet ownership, always a big topic.
And this section really delves into the, well, often complex considerations around that.
What kind of concerns come up?
Well, a key thing from these discussions is the initial worry. Pets are explicitly framed as a lot of work and responsibility. It really underlines the, significant emotional and practical investment needed.
Yeah, it's not trivial.
Not at all. And there's also the realistic chance of allergies or other health issues and, of course, understandable worries about mess and potential damage to your home.
All valid points.
Yeah.
But then the conversations must pivot to the good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. They beautifully pivot to the really rewarding aspects. Pets are described as great companions. And the sources highlight that beyond just general stress reduction, the actual rhythmic act of petting an animal It can specifically help reduce stress
How so?
by lowering cortisol levels, apparently.
So
It acts like a direct physiological counter to anxiety.
interesting. And for dogs specifically.
Yeah, for dogs, their loyalty and affection are really emphasized. It's often described as this deeply enriching kind of unconditional bond.
But what about those initial concerns? The mess, the trouble.
Well, importantly, the sources don't just list the worries, they offer strategies too. They make it clear that with proper training and care, pets can be well behaved and not cause too much trouble.
So it requires effort.
Exactly. It emphasizes that good behavior isn't just a given, it's an investment of time and training.
Okay.
And for those thinking about a dog, there's another compelling practical benefit mentioned.
Oh, yeah?
They can be good motivation to get more active. It integrates healthy habits right into your daily routine, a reason to get out and walk.
Right, the built-in exercise plan.
Kind of, yeah.
So the takeaway from these discussions seems pretty clear then.
What's that?
That it's ultimately up to you, but you need to make an informed decision.
Precisely. The sources really underscore the vital importance of doing your research and consider all the factors before making a decision. You need to be sure that welcoming a pet really aligns with your lifestyle, your capacity for that long-term commitment.
Makes perfect sense.
Hmm.
Okay, now let's shift gears a bit courageously here. Something more sensitive, but, well, universally relatable, I think. A tough personal challenge. Navigating a difficult breakup.
Yeah.
Specifically, one involving that profound breach of trust. Infidelity.
Yeah, this segment really captures the just raw emotional impact. It describes someone feeling utterly lost, unable to believe it.
Thinking they'd found the one.
Exactly. Convinced this person was the one. And the specific trigger mentioned for all this turmoil was the partner cheating. It's a betrayal that just shatters the foundation of everything.
It really does. And one particularly powerful section I saw delves into this, offering some surprisingly actionable advice for getting through it.
Actionable? How so?
Well, beyond just saying time heals, it focuses on being intentional about healing. It distills key advice like, take time for yourself, but actively fill that time. Do things that make you happy. Focus on hobbies to sort of rediscover who you are.
Reclaiming your identity.
Exactly. And crucially, spend time with friends and family. Actively rebuild that support network.
That makes a lot of sense. If we connect that to the broader healing process, the wisdom offered reinforces a really powerful empathetic message. You'll get through this.
Yeah.
And there's a vital assertion in there. You deserve someone who treats you right and doesn't cheat on you.
That's crucial for self-worth, isn't it?
Absolutely crucial. And while, yes, time heals all wounds is a comforting thought, the sources kind of implicitly underline that it's not passive.
It requires effort.
It's about the effort you invest during that time. The segment wraps up with this assurance that, with active engagement in your own healing, you'll find someone who loves and respects you for who you are.
That's a hopeful note to end on for that topic. Okay, so shifting gears again from personal dilemmas to skill development.
Right.
Our final segment draws from these conversations to highlight some really effective strategies for improving English-speaking skills.
Ah, yes. This is very practical.
Definitely. For anyone listening who wants to genuinely level up their language game, the insights here seem incredibly valuable.
Well, the foundational point here, what comes through loud and clear, is that listening to English conversation is an essential part of improving your English language skills.
Why is listening so key?
Because, as the sources explain, it actively improves your listening, speaking, and comprehension skills all at once. You're immersing yourself in the natural rhythm, the intonation, common phrasing, how people actually talk.
Okay, so start by listening more. Then what?
Then, building on that foundation, the sources give some very direct, actionable steps for practice. Like, they suggest you talk to yourself in English as you go about your day.
Talk to yourself, really.
It's like a powerful internal rehearsal tool.
Yeah.
You formulate thoughts, practice expressing them, but without any pressure.
Okay, I could see that. And anything else?
And equally important, actively look for opportunities to chat in English with people you meet.
Pushing yourself into the real world.
Exactly. It activates what you've learned through listening and that internal practice.
Got it. Now, there was one specific tool mentioned that sounded really interesting.
Which one was that?
Recording yourself.
Yes. That's highlighted as a truly powerful tool for improvement. The conversations acknowledge that, okay, listening to your own voice in another language, it can feel a bit strange at first,
I bet.
but it quickly turns into this indispensable, powerful tool for improvement.
How does it help? specifically?
Well, the big thing is confidence. Listeners often realize, hey, I actually speak English better than I thought.
Interesting.
But maybe more critically, the sources reveal it creates this immediate auditory feedback loop.
Feedback loop.
Yeah. You can instantly hear and correct subtle things, pronunciation mistakes, intonation patterns, word stress things your own ear often just misses when you're talking in real time.
Right, you don't hear yourself the way others do.
Precisely. There's this great analogy used. Speaking a foreign language is a physical workout for your mouth.
Huh. I like that.
And if you want to improve, well, you want to get in the gym. Recording yourself is like going to the speech gym. The speech gym. Love it. Okay, and there you have it. Wow, what a deep dive into the insights just pulled from everyday conversations.
It's quite a range.
It really is. We've journeyed through navigating those big lifestyle choices, village versus city. We delved into the rewards and responsibilities of pet ownership.
Tackled the sensitive topic of breakups.
Right. Coping with heartbreak, infidelity, and then wrapped up with these practical, powerful strategies for mastering English speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's really been a ride through relatable human experiences, all sort of distilled into actionable wisdom.
Yeah, and I think the true power of looking at sources like these everyday conversations, lies in their ability to illuminate universal human experiences. They offer these really relatable pathways to growth.
Yeah.
They remind us that, profound wisdom isn't always found in some grand treatise. It's often right there in the candid discussions we have about our choices, our challenges, our hopes. So whether it's about choosing where to live, deciding on a pet, overcoming heartbreak, or just, refining a skill like speaking English, these distilled nuggets of knowledge from ordinary chats can offer really profound guidance.
So maybe a final thought for you listening.
Yeah, consider which of these perspectives really resonated most with you. How might you apply some of these insights gleaned from everyday life to your own life?
Because, as these sources really show,
True understanding,
yeah,
it often comes from just examining the rich nuances of daily life. There's a lot there if you listen closely.